Hi all, welcome to Red Exploit with me Jay. So here today we are just trying to explore the Nessus Essential. So in my blog in Medium, if you haven't you are the first time visitor for my blog, I will just drop my link. Um, so that you can go and visit my blog. We are in a series called Scanner series where we are exploring Nessus. We just in the first blog we just had a overview of the Tenable and Tenable products like Nessus, and then they have cloud security, um, and web application scanning and and all the other solutions provided by Tenable. But now we are just more interested on understanding and about Nessus. So initially we started with the free license from Tenable for Nessus, which is the Nessus Essentials. It comes with 16 free IP license for scanning. And it's a perfect solution for a home lab and for the users who's initially wants to know more about Nessus. As already conveyed in the blog, there are like three variants available on Nessus. The free one is Nessus Essential, which is 16 free IPs for scanning, and then you have Nessus Professional, which we call it as Nessus Pro, and then there is the final big monster, which is Nessus Expert, which comes with more advanced scanning options. So, in my two blogs, first blog we dealt with Tenable and its products, and then overview about Nessus Essentials and its architecture. And then second blog, we had an you sat with me and we installed Nessus Essential. So this is how the installation looks like. I have just done the installation in a Kali box, so I have now Nessus Essential running and it's ready for scanning. But the important thing which we need before we proceed with the scan is like we need a target, not only a target, but we need a vulnerable target so that we can see some results in Tenable. There are some ports open, and then that there is some issues with this port. You are running a default username and outdated versions. So we need a vulnerable mission. So in order to have a vulnerable mission, so what I did is like I just have a victim mission. I just have it installed in Ubuntu, and here I just created a script. So what the script does is like it makes the box vulnerable by installing OpenSSH and then PHP MySQL, and MariaDB, and then we also installed DVWA, DAM vulnerable web applications. So we are just trying to and we're also trying to open some firewall configurations as well. So in order to make this mission vulnerable, we can still do it with 4 to 5 commands manually, but I don't want to waste time, so I just put everything in a simple script. Hope you can also, you don't want to follow me with the script, you can still do it manually, or you can just take the script and you can tweak it, or you just want to make any enhancement to the script. So it's open to do it, I would say. So let's run the script. So I just call it as, what do we have? So yeah, made vulnerable. So yes, let's run this made vulnerable, and I will have tag vulnerable. So I have two tags, which is one and then fix. So one makes the machine vulnerable by enabling softwares and opening some firewall rules, and the -n fix will put back the machine back to its original state. So let's run this, and let's wait like when it installs all the components like Apache, MySQL, MariaDB, and the DVWA and all those things. So let's wait. And if you are new to the blog, to my blog, so normally we share some informational content on InfoSec, which related to red teaming, pen testing, and now about the tooling side as well. So going further, if you want to see any new topics which you want to, explore more, or which I want to just explore more, so you can always feel free to drop your comments on the comment box. So I can still, open to explore new things, and I can even make a video out of it. Uh, so while the vulnerable box is getting set up, so let's see like what Nessus has. So the previous blog we just installed Nessus and we concluded the blog. And this blog, let's explore the options available in the Nessus dashboard. So once you logged in this Nessus Essential, I would like to have a stress on this word. It's like Nessus Essential is a limited version of Nessus. So whatever you see in this dashboard is only limited to Nessus Essential. So when you just get Nessus Pro or Nessus Expert, either in your organization, so the GUI is completely different. It has huge amount of features embedded in it. So Nessus Essential is just kind of a free version like how we have within the Bob Suite Community Edition. So don't judge the tool by this dashboard. It's very limited. I would say like more than 5 to 10%. It's here. So we have still more to explore. 80 to 90% of the feature. But still with this essential we can explore the much needed information like how the scan is performed and what are the templates available, and what are the options available, like for example a network scan, agent scan, and do you have a web application scan. So those things can be still explored with the Nessus. So let's explore. The box has been set up. Okay, I know there is some issue I need to fix with the script, but I can do this now. So it is. Mhm. Okay, so now it should be running. Yep, so it's up and running. So now what we can do is like let's grab the IP address so that I can configure the scan. So let's go to the tabs here. So as you can see, my scans, I created in my own scan folder where I can save my own scan, and this will contain all the scans cumulatively which you run. And this is the trash bin, and this is the policy where you create new policies. So policies, here it says policy templates, which means like Nessus has already configured pre-configured templates. It already gave it's already available here. So what you can do is like you can just pick the template and you can customize it, I would say, like configure it. So for example, now for the first step, when we are just trying to run a vulnerability scan, is like first we need to just identify or make sure the hosts are reachable, and then we target it using the network scan, right? So the first thing is the host discovery. So there is already a template available here, so we can just pick this template, and you can see it's asking for a name. My first discovery scan. This goes like my first scan, and then you go to discovery, and then that's the scan types available. So these are the options available for how you want to do a host discovery. So is it like host enumeration, OS identification, port scan, and you have this port scan as like common ports and all ports, and you have a custom window here. So either you can just choose host enumeration, where it says like always test the local. It is general configuration, which is pre-configured, I would say. So what kind of ping methods it use, and if you change the OS identification, it keeps on changing, as you can see here. It goes with the common port. Now it's called with all this 65,535 ports. And custom is like you can make your own discovery settings. So let's have custom, and then we'll go for this host discovery. Ping the remote host, yes. Test the local Nessus host, no, because I don't want to scan my own Nessus installed server, because it will create a load. And I always disable this, because faster the scan, it's like more the false positive is, so it's good to disable it. And these are the ping methods to just know whether the target is alive or dead. So it's always good to have ARP and TCP enabled, so they are a reliable mechanism. But this ICMP is still, you can have it, but always to have something like a fallback. That's why we had this TCP and ARP enabled, because most of the organization is blocking the ICMP props, so it's always good. You can even disable it, but it's still good to have it. It's not no it's not going to create any um, discrepancy when you have this ICMP. And if you have any fragile device in your network, like time devices like NTPs and or any IoT devices or network printers, you just want to enable here, so that the Nessus will automatically configure the scan not to load those kind of servers. So this is the option. And if you go to port scan, so you don't want to choose this, because it says consider unscanned port as closed, so which means like the port may be open or firewalled, and but Tenable consider it as like, yeah, I could able to reach it, so it's closed. So it just kind of trying to cover it, like I couldn't able to scan it, then it's closed definitely. So we don't need that actually. So what kind of network ports can you want to do? Either a full TCP, a half TCP, or UDP. Always goes with the half TCP, because they don't establish a full handshake. And then the half TCP is like much more faster than a full TCP scan, because it's not creating a full connection, right? So it's always good to have the sync kind of port scan enabled, even when you're doing it with the Nmap. And then is reporting. So report, we can create it after the scan, or else you can even configure like what needs to be showed in the results. And here there are like performance metrics, like how many network timeout, how many simultaneously checks per host. You just, if you are dealing with huge um, targets, then you can just little tweak it here in order to minimize the load to the network. So this is this is what the how the next the discovery scan configuration, the template looks like. So in the plugin it shows like no records found, but we still have plugins loaded already. This is the limitation to Nessus Essential, so don't worry. There are plugins included, but it's not visible in this Nessus Essential dashboard, I would say. So the setting is done, and we have the victim ready. So what we do, so we do save the scan, and then so this is the policy we created, right? So here, if you go to thing, sorry, we have to do this again, because the one thing is in this Nessus Essential, if you create a policy, you can't attach it with a scan. So normally how a normally Nessus Pro or Nessus Expert looks is like, you create a policy here, and then you go and create a new scan. So you just go and choose it here. As you can see here, it's available in this user defined thing, so we can still use this policy. Like it's not available here, but it's still available here. So this is the scan which we already configured. We just want to mention the targets here. So the schedule notification, so in this general, we need to just add the target 10.0.2.4/24. Okay. And then schedule is off, because if you want to do it weekly scan or a daily scan or a monthly scan, you can schedule it here. But as of now it's an on demand. We can just click it, run, so that it runs once and then it stops. It doesn't repeat it actually. So here this SMTP configuration, you can always add your mail address here, so that like if the scan will be, the Nessus will be notifying you when the scan is completed or triggered. So we have the scan ready, save. So now we should have a scan here, policy. Yeah. So how does this flow works? So when you want to do a scan in Nessus, you create a policy. The policy says like what you are trying to do in the scan. It's kind of a brain or the master logic, I would say. And then this scan is just kind of a it's just a kind of a wrapper, I would say, which encapsulates the policy, the brain, and it runs the scan with the policy which you defined. So if you go into the configure, you can see the policy as my discovered, policy which you chose. This is kind of a engine, or the logic you chose to run, which you already configured in policy. So the configuration GUI will be a little different when you see Nessus Pro and Essential, because Essential has some limited functionality. So it's still, but you can, it's self-explanatory. So if you just get into this GUI, you probably understand what needs to be done. But the the flow looks like you create the scope first, and I mean the asset group, and then next is the policy which we created using the available templates, and then comes the scan, so where you just link the policy which you created, so that when you run the scan, the policy is executed with a scan. So we have the targets here, no schedule, notification, yeah, save, and then we are going to our newbie scans. So this is my scan. I'm just clicking it and launch. Oh yeah, so we just triggered our first discovery scan. So yeah, so now you see it's running, and oh, I don't have a Wireshark in this Ubuntu machine, so that like we can see the incoming connections or like the props from the Nessus, but that's fine. We will just set up a different session to just monitor the scan. So let's give it some time to run. So so by that time we can, what we can do is this is where you can see, what are the options, or like what you have, like kind of an overview, what version of Nessus you have, the license, the updates, the encryption password, and the events, what it is doing. And then here you have all the details about the configurations, I would say, which you can locally even change it. And this is a proxy server. If you want to go, if you have the Nessus connection through a proxy, you can still do it. SMTP mail configuration, yes. If normally, Nessus uses self-signed certificate, but if you are using it in an enterprise organization, you can always generate a certificate and replace it here, so that like you have a secure connection. This one. And this is the password policy settings. This is the scanner health, like how many memories used, load, host scanned, basically, and the notification window which says scan saved successfully. All the notification is tracked. So that's pretty much everything, and let's wait for the scan to get completed. So now I think Tenable is moving to more of a centralized dashboard thing. So we have this solution called Tenable One, where where you can just sit on Tenable One dashboard, and you can monitor all the products from Tenable which you have installed in your organization. For example, you have Nessus, and then you have Web Application Scanner, you have Cloud Scanner, and then you have this enterprise attack surface management. Anything, you can just control it using one single dashboard, which is called as Tenable One. So it's quite interesting when you just explore the products at Tenable. So they cover all the aspects actually from this end to that end. So it's what I actually like it with Tenable, I would say. So and you also know Nessus is quite a popular product from Tenable. It's been so long, the pen testers they are used to use this tool actually. So it's a very good vulnerability scanner, I would say. So probably what should be the result of this scan? Maybe we should see some open ports, maybe some vulnerable versions of Apache, something like that. So that is what is expected. So here it says these are the ports open actually. So this has too many open ports, but what is it? I think this is our virtual box default address maybe, but so it is scanning this, so that's why it's 0%. So, all the rest are 100%. Okay, let's see. Ooh, we have some vulnerabilities. All info. Oh, log4j DNS failed request. Okay, it couldn't able to maybe look up this domain. So I think some issues with the DNS thing. Hmm. Interesting. It's still running, but give it some time. So in this blog, I wanted to make it more interactive is like not the correct word, but I would say like more easier for the readers because reading a blog, you need to just read throughout the blog and refer the screenshot attached, and it's quite a kind of a hard work. So rather, what I did is like I tried to embed this video inside the blog so that it will be easy so that you can click and watch the video rather reading step by step guide. So I know when I just created this installation blog, I just was kind of little exhausted when I just want to recheck it and confirm. So I just had this way in my mind, so I thought like it would be useful. So I'm always open for inputs or feedbacks from the readers. So feel free to drop your comments either in the video or in the LinkedIn chat or in the Medium article. So I'm always open to take feedbacks and I'm allowed to upskill myself, guys. Mhm. Still running, still running. So normally it should, once it is completed, it should have a tick mark saying completed so that we can go and view the results. So let's give it some time. Mhm. And if you want to, visit Tenable's plugin page where you want to just, go and see what plugins you have inside Tenable, you can always do it. Oops, sorry. So we can always do it in Tenable. I can show you the plugins page. So you can always go to this plugin page. where you have all the plugins which Tenable has. So you can just sort it with the families because Nessus already always have families inside which you have the plugins inside grouped into families, I would say. For example, if you go to FTP family, so it will have all the checks related to the FTP for each services or like each platforms here. So it's always good to check the plugins page. So I can even drop it in the blog, so it will be easy for you to refer, guys. I would say. Then yeah, it's completed. As I told, it's that is a tick mark completed. So let's go into the results. So it sees like 1 to 4 host has been scanned, and then you can ignore all these things because they are VirtualBox default. And this is our target, which is the Ubuntu machine. So let's click on it. So it has port scan results, settings. So what it does. So as we have only chose the custom with port scan. So as you can see here, it identified 2 port scan, which is 22 and then 80, where we had this Apache installation. So we could see what it does, and this is the Nessus scan information plugin. This is the plugin ID. For example, what you can do is like you can take this and you can always try to put this here. So what you can go here, and then if you go to plugins, or you can go to search here, add a filter, plugin, sorry, plugin ID. You just want to paste the plugin ID, which is 19506. So you will see the plugin details here. So if you want to read about the plugin, you can read about it here. What are the dependencies and all those things. So this will have details about what is the scanner IP, what is the scanner name, and when it was scanned, what is the Nessus version. All the scan details will be here. And here it is the ping the remote host, which says the host is up. The host is replied to an ARP, so it just passed the ICMP and then it passed the ARP and it says the hardware address. So this is how Tenable finds the IP as reachable with a discovery scan. And if you need to export it to a report to just have it as evidence like this is reachable, you can always go to here, choose the host which you want to include in the report, and you can already always click the report. And here I have an option of HTML, PDF, and CSV, and you can choose what details you want, like a complete list or only vulnerabilities by host, by plugin. So I'll just for viewing purpose, we'll just go with the complete list of vulnerabilities. So yes, it's created. So as you can see here, 3 informational ones. So it's always, it's good. It's kind of a executive report. It's not, I would say, a detailed summary report, but it's an executive report which has the analytics of number of findings found and all that. To I can even show you some of the reports which I ran before. I can still show you how it will look. So as you can see, I scanned the same host. So this is how the vulnerabilities looks like. So normally in discovery scan, it shows like whether it's available or like the the host is reachable or not. But this is how it looks actually. So normally Tenable uses those informational plugins or the informational findings to build low, high, or critical vulnerabilities, because here you can see we have it has identified HTTP version of this Apache here as informational, and then it used the version it found to build a critical vulnerability, saying like the Apache version which the server is running is outdated and has this many issues. So it built high and critical using those informational. So I would say these are the building blocks of those critical high, medium, and low findings. So it's always good to always go through this informational findings so that you know what does the system has. Mm, So you can always download this Nessus DB file. So these are, I think, the configurations of the scan files, I would say. The audit trail, so it has what the scan does, did when it was executing the scan. So to just check whether what plugin details, you can always check here. So this is how we need to create a simple discovery scan, guys. So I will just halt here. I will not just take much of your time. Like we can always visit, or like we can always reunite in another blog to explore new functionalities in Nessus. So as of now, today we just saw like how to set up the first initial scan in Tenable, and that too we just follow the procedure of pen testing methodology to first check the discovery scan where we identified like how many ports are alive, so that we define the scope and then we create a network scan out of it. So let's put a stop here, guys. So I will just meet you in next video where we can just explore the network scan options, like how to configure a network scan and what does it finds, like how it is different from the discovery scan. So thank you, guys. Thanks for your time. So always drop your comments on the video or LinkedIn, or you can even DM me with your comments or what I need to upskill or enhance. So I'm just always open for feedbacks. Thank you, guys. Thanks for your time, and see you soon. Bye bye.